Hey traders, welcome to the FXE YouTube channel. For those that watched the video explaining how to frame a higher time frame analysis, I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. For those that didn't watch it, you can find it in the education playlist. In today's video, I'll do a quick follow-up on last week's analysis based on the price action of last week. Last week it was ranging and quite difficult to trade, but there were multiple opportunities for some nice trades as long as you focus on entries on the extremes of the premium and discount. Let's start with a quick recap. As mentioned in last week's video, I was expecting price to come down lower into the daily range or potentially the weekly range before the next wave to the upside. As you can see on Monday, price pushed down nearly into OTE and created the low of the week and has been more or less ranging ever since. As such, it wasn't the easiest week to trade, although price did retrace over the 618 of the daily range. At this point, I'm not completely convinced that it has taken the liquidity that it needs to. To clarify why I think we could see a deeper pullback, let me show you what I'm thinking on DXY. Now on DXY, you can see more clearly how price has been building liquidity in the daily range. It has created equal highs and equal lows, which will both more than likely get swept at one point or another. But as we are higher time frame bearish on DXY, ultimately I would like to see the price go down. And as we have left those equal highs, I'm guessing they will get swept before DXY starts the next move to the downside. This pullback may happen from here, or DXY could push a little lower to clear the sell side liquidity and potentially go as low as a volume imbalance before reversing to take the buy side liquidity before ultimately reversing for the next wave to the downside. So as you can see from the liquidity left behind, it is very likely that we will see at least one more push up to clear the buy side liquidity before the next wave to the downside. Now let's go back to EU. EU, on the other hand, has a little divergence as it is creating liquidity on both ends of the range in an upward motion. But the same thing applies. It makes perfect sense for the liquidity to the downside to get cleared before the next wave to the upside. I'm seeing this more as strength to the euro than the start of the next wave, at least for now. We did come into the daily demand if we include the wick, but what I have on my chart is a daily demand without the wick. So assuming DXY can clear the buy side liquidity I mentioned, then hopefully EU can clear the sell side liquidity and come into the daily demand before the next wave to the upside. But as I have stated before, that is if the daily range holds. There is still always the possibility of price to go even lower into the weekly range before reversing for the next wave to the upside. So how do I plan to trade in the coming week? I will likely just trade the range in the extremes unless we get a sweep of the upside and look for shorts into daily demand. But for the shorts, we'll likely take profits early and close trades if I don't see any continuation. And after DXY sweeps the buy side liquidity, then I will start to look for higher time frame reversals on EU. And those trades I'll hold with the expectation that the next wave to the upside may have started. But as it is ranging, until EU reaches appropriate liquidity levels, doesn't really make sense to hold trades as they'll likely go against you for the following day. As well as focus on entries at the extreme of premium and discount before looking for entries. And most importantly, I would recommend avoiding entries in the middle of the range, as you're going to get frustrated with a lot of break-evens and potential losses. Anyway, that sums up this quick update. As I mentioned, I am higher time frame bullish, but would like to see price come lower, preferably into daily demand before reversing for the next wave to the upside. But as I stated before, that is under the assumption that the daily range holds, as price could come deeper into the weekly range before reversing. I hope you guys found this video useful. As always, I would really appreciate if you guys could leave a comment with your thoughts on the market, as well as any constructive feedback about my analysis. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and good luck trading next week. Peace.
Hey, you made it to the very end. Thanks for that. If you could do me one more favor and click the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, it'll allow the YouTube algos to kick in and help this channel grow. Thanks again. Cheers.